The people then who were in charge in 2015 are those, what I've been calling established Republicans, the ones who are basically oligarchs. But as I've said before, they had a system set up that they would essentially be able to dictate who became the next Republican president by front loading their primaries in low information states, because what that meant was people would vote for name recognition. And remember in 2016, everybody was teeing up Jeb Bush. They thought, he had this huge war chest, it was going to be Jeb Bush. And then Trump came in like a wrecking ball from outside because he had greater name recognition than Jeb Bush, because he had been on The Apprentice. And then he had this image of being this great successful businessman, which was always an image. Anyway, so that group of Trumpers, the Make America Great Again Republicans, the MAGAs, came in, and the established Republicans and the MAGAs have been at loggerheads ever since. And the established Republicans were willing to go along with Trump in his first term because, first of all, they wanted the tax cuts that they got because that helped him concentrate wealth, and they wanted his voters, because those voters were not turning out for the oligarchs, but they were turning out for Trump. He was getting people who had previously not been involved in politics out, and they wanted both of those things. And you can see that really clearly, I think, in, well, first of all, the first impeachment, where Mitch McConnell literally says to the senators, this is not about Trump, this is about winning the 2020 election. And then after the insurrection in 2021, again, letting Trump off the hook, and Mitch McConnell then standing up and saying somebody else, the courts have to, this was his fault and the courts need to get him, but trying to keep his voters. So they were always at loggerheads. But now in 2024, the MAGAs who elected Trump are a really, really different group of people, because Trump has never been popular. He has never broken 50% of the vote. And he, in order to win in 2024, he had to get anybody he could. The strategy that they went for was to get people who previously might not have been involved and who would turn out if they were promised something that otherwise they couldn't get. And what they did is they put together the MAGAs. They put together, especially by doubling down on the professional wrestling and the hypermasculinity. And then they brought in Robert Kennedy's people, now being called the Make America Healthy Again people, the MAHAs. And they did it, even still they were in deep doo-doo, they did it with the money that came from a very few, very wealthy tech people. One of them, I was just reading, put in $100 million. Musk put in almost more than $275 million. But here's the problem. Trump promised all of those people different things. You can't give everybody everything. And already there's a huge split among that Make America Great Again group between the MAGAs, who hate immigrants and hate immigration and want to have a government that stops relying on the market and instead imposes white male heteronormative Christianity on the country. And that's going to be Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer and Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and those MAGAs. Massey of Kentucky. You've got them, but now the people who are getting all the jobs in the new administration are the people that I've been calling the doggies, the Department of Government Efficiency people, the ones who want more immigration, especially more immigration of skilled immigrants from they come overwhelmingly from India on the H-1B program, where they come to America and they're kind of chained to their jobs and they make less money than Americans do. And they're being really condescending about MAGA. They're already split wide open. And I mean, it's really pretty astonishing how angry those two sides are at each other. I'm not going to repeat what Musk has been putting on social media because it's incredibly profane, but Bannon isn't far behind him. They're fighting for control of the government. Meanwhile, Trump doesn't really care. He's checked out. I think he's mentally deteriorating. All he wanted was not to go to jail, and that got taken care of. So it's going to be a free-for-all. So in terms of the speakership, we have the fact that Trump finally appears to have realized there's a problem, and he's been holding off on supporting Johnson because he thinks Johnson is caving too easily to the Democrats and the established Republicans. But yesterday he came out and supported Johnson, but a lot of the MAGAs are saying, no, we're not going to support him. And as I say, he can only lose 2 votes. So there's a real problem. But then there's a bigger problem coming next.